Yeah, one of the first things I noticed is the director's cut of this. It's just, the graphics are significantly better. It runs smoother. I mean, they've really spent some time with it. So that's the Citadel. They're not going to let me in, so I'm not going to go there. And let's see, who's it? It's Chris that's running right now. So,
hey, Echo 1, mind picking up that can over there for me? I think
not at
there's
all.
some water in there.
Yeah, Chris is going to pick up the can.
He headbutted you right in the butt.
Sorry, Chris, it was juvenile, but it's the best I could do. I couldn't resist. So. Yes, you're preparing for Goat Mountain, are you? The loot does seem to be fairly well randomized. Again, if you're not familiar with it. The random encounters in the desert have been improved as well. Yeah, that's a good start. Of course, somebody's going to come looking for it and shoot me. So who did we make the sniper? So remember that for your own playthroughs. Oops, wrong character. I just tried to dig up the rocks with a cigarette. And I love inventory junk systems. Playing these games for ages. I'm not going to get into how long. The name is appropriate, but Inventory Tetris is not one of my favorite games. Go find Angela and make life a little easier for us.
God damn it, Ace. You never should have put down the wrench and picked up the gun.
No. It's not.
Sorry about the waterworks. I'm still pretty broke up over Ace. I'm Angie. You kids must be the new recruits old Vargas trained up. Lord, y'all just babies.
Babies? Us?
Sorry, but you are. As cute as little kittens. Y'all remind me of us. Snake, Razor, Thrasher, and me. Back when we were just starting out. Thinking we were gonna save the world for the future. Thinking none of us would ever die. Christ, sorry. Don't listen to me. Youth is good. Optimism is good. If we all started out worn out and jaded like me, nobody'd ever try to change the world. So you kids go ahead and give it a go. Maybe it'll work this time.
I'll reserve comment. Where's Thrasher now?
You better call him Gilbert now. Funny, back in the day he just seemed like this big old growly bear. Strong as an ox and just about as articulate. But then he got all torn up during our fight with the robots from Base Cochise. And he couldn't go out on patrol no more. Any other commander would have handed him his walk-in papers. But Vargas doesn't dump old friends. So he started him working in the museum. And once you know it, turns out the old bear has a knack for cartography. He's been gradually mapping our little corner of the Wasteland ever since. Who'd have thunk it?
What was Base Cochise?
An old military facility from before the war. And the biggest fight the Rangers ever had. There was some crazy computer in there that kept spitting out robots and sending them off to kill people. We had one hell of a fight putting it down. Earned our stripes that day. Literally. That's when I became Captain Death.
Captain Death. The computer was making the robots?
Yeah. The Base Cochise AI. Don't know what was wrong with it. Broken, I guess. It thought everybody was its enemy. Wanted to kill the whole planet.
What happened to Hellraiser?
He's another one gone. Went out for a patrol a few weeks back and never came home. Don't know if he's dead, or AWOL, or gone off to join the Scorpions. All anybody knows is he hasn't called in, and we haven't heard from anybody who's seen him.
I wouldn't hope he ran off and joined the Scorpions, seeing as those are your enemies, but okay.
I miss old Hellraiser like blazes. Didn't talk much. Didn't make friends easy. Wasn't big on social graces. But he was as loyal as they come. And when the shit started flying, he was the guy you wanted at your back. He didn't win that name by accident. Sharp as a razor. Scary as hell.
The Red Scorpions?
You weren't briefed on those fucks during your training?
Yes, I was.
Well, let me fill you in. You know when we left the prison and moved here to the Citadel? Well, the Scorpions were the jerks who moved into the prison when we moved out. Just a bunch of Rangers back then, but they have been getting more organized. Call themselves the militia now, and they try to act like they're the Desert Rangers of Eastern Arizona. Well, that's a load of horse shit. The protection racket ain't the same as protecting people. They shake down all their towns for money, and if the locals don't kick in, they smash them up. The Rangers aren't like that. We get by on donations and good old-fashioned scavenging.
What can you tell us about Eastern Arizona?
Basically everything between the prison and the radiation clouds to the east. There are a few small towns and farms out there, which the Scorpions claim is their territory. Rangers used to patrol that area before we moved here, and we knew it pretty well. But a lot can change in 15 years. Who knows? Maybe it's all as clean and nice and crime-free as the Scorpions say it is. But I've got my doubts. The edges of the map, kiddies. Big hot areas we can't get into without getting cooked to a crisp. The clouds move around some with the wind and the weather, but there are permanent hot spots on every side of us. North, south, east, and west. Until we started hearing those weird broadcasts, I kinda thought those clouds went on forever. And that Arizona was the last place on Earth. But maybe there's more people out there. Maybe the whole rest of the world's just fine, and we're the only ones in hell. Wouldn't that be a joke?
Have you heard any of these strange broadcasts?
Ace played me some of them before he died. Hard to make out a lot of it, but what I heard made my hair stand on end. Some guy talking about turning men into machines. Or machines into men, or some shit. But the crazy thing was, then he starts talking about us, the Rangers, saying we're the cause of all the trouble in the world, and we need to be wiped out so his glorious future can be born. I mean, who is this guy? Where is he? What the fuck does he have against us?
So General Vargas used to be called Snake?
Yep. He was one wild-ass son of a bitch back in the day. But I think the weight of his responsibilities has kind of squashed that out of him now. He hasn't been in a decent bar fight in, shit, a decade maybe?
How well do you know General Vargas?
Better than he'd like. Back in the day, the General was the craziest of us all. But somehow, after he brought down Base Cochise, he became the sanest. Now he's running the whole show, and doing a damn fine job. While I'm still walking patrols and answering radio calls. Shows you how much ambition I got, huh?
Yes, but we weren't talking about you. We were talking about General Vargas. Now we're talking about Ace. We saw you at Ace's funeral. You knew him well?
They all hurt, but this one... Man... Ace wasn't even a ranger. Not at first. He worked as a driver and mechanic for Farron Brygo up in Vegas. When Base Cochise started sending its death machines into the desert, Brygo sent Ace south to recruit robot fighters. We met him in Quartz. He'd pissed somebody off out there and they'd locked him up. We sorted that out, and he started running with us, helping us fight Cochise, and never stopped. Vargas eventually gave him the uniform and the hat, but I don't think he ever formally signed on. He was just always there. And now he's...
Farron Brygo, eh? You sure that's not Brian Fargo?
God damn it, Ace. I knew this one was trouble, I knew it.
You thought Ace's mission was trouble?
He was working on the same thing Vargas has you working on. Trying to track down radio signals from beyond the edges of the map. All seemed a bit boring and scientific to me. Then Ace started saying he thought someone was following him. I asked him to let me come with him when I met him at Rail Nomads to give him the repeater units. But he told me to go back to base. He said he was just jumping at shadows because those radio broadcasts had spooked him. Should have gone with him. Why didn't I go with him?
Do you know any more about the repeater units?
I don't really know the details. It's all a bunch of mumbo-jumbo about transmitters and north-south axis and signals bouncing off the clouds. Ask Woodson about it. He's our radio genius.
Do you know Sergeant Woodson?
Radio technician Wade Woodson? Sure do. He's the guy that makes sure you can hear Vargas when you're out on patrol. Keeps the machines running and the signal clear. He'll also talk your ear off about circuits and frequencies and I don't know what else if you let him. But be nice to him. He's your lifeline to the base.
Tell me about Rail Nomads.
Could be a nice little place if the Atchisons and Topekans would kiss and make up. I can't even remember what it's all about, but between them, they got enough old railroad tech that if they worked together, they could give this area a real transportation system. Instead, it seems like all they want to do is blow each other's heads off. Idiots.
Where's Quartz?
Man, not sure I can recall. Haven't been out that way in ages. Don't even know if it's still on the map. Ask Thrasher, he'd know.
Bye.
Say, listen. Vargas asked you to look into Ace's death because he thought I was too upset to be professional about it. He didn't want me going off half-cocked and shooting up all of Arizona looking for his killer. But I gotta find this guy. Ace and me, well, we've been fighting side by side for nigh on 20 years. I'm not letting him die unavenged.
That's one thing I did notice that was fairly significant, is they have recorded a lot of new dialogue, but there is some of it that's very obvious that they didn't either get it matched or compressed to the same levels. It's still pretty good. and it's a lot better than having to read everything. So, if you're that way.
So, well, I know it's going against orders, but if you let me tag along and be in at the kill, well, I'll help you find your feet out there. Maybe give you a few pointers along the way. I may be old and slow, but I know the wastes like the back of my hand. What do you say?
I need to think about this. Do we want to take the veteran with lots of hit points and guns and skills and stuff like that, or do we just want to wander around? Yeah. I assume that's there as an
No need
option.
to tell Vargas why I joined you. If anybody asks, I'm just helping you get oriented, all right?
I mean, if you want to make this game exceptionally hard on yourself, you can. But I'm not feeling so masochistic. Like I said earlier, I ran a few missions separately off this, and I've found to be fairly difficult. So when they did the rebalance, it came out all right. Yeah, hopefully when I get my sense back. Could look at changing difficulties and... So shopping. I don't know that I need anything right now. And I really can't afford anything anyway, so... Let's just sell all the junk and... Ammo's okay, we'll go out. Pretty sure everyone's heard enough talking. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I found though, is with the rebalancing. I don't know. So yay, mapping.
Ranger Team Echo, this is Ranger Command. Come in.
Okay, Dad. This is Ranger Team Echo.
Roger, Echo 1. Just making sure your radio is working. I'll be your dispatcher from here on out. I also wanted to give you a little heads up on your water situation. If you've all got full canteens, you should have enough water to reach the place where Ace died with plenty to spare. But if you're going to go exploring, you'll want to fill up again at any oasis you can find.
I've pointed this out before, but I'm going to point it out again. I'm already out. You would have checked the radio beforehand. If you just want to call and check on us, just say you want to call and check on us.
Remember, your main priority is to recover the repeater units Ace was carrying. Once you've got the devices, you'll be headed to Ag Center and High Pool to install them. But we'll talk about that after you acquire the repeaters. We must, of course, bring Ace's killers to justice. But right now, that's secondary to discovering the location of that signal.
Does that mean you weren't always the dispatcher?
Until now, Woodson's been our dispatcher. But Ace's death made me realize I've spent too many years in my office, walled off from the world and how it's changing. I need to know what's going on out there, and I figure the best way to do that is to start listening to the people's problems. So, I've decided that from now on, I'll be the one fielding calls and talking in your ear when you head out into the wastes. Don't let that make you self-conscious or nothing.
Okay, Dad. So it's important to stay in radio contact with you.
It is vital that all teams stay in radio contact with me here at the base. We get distress calls from all over our jurisdiction and sometimes beyond. Towns or farms or mines being attacked by raiders, mutant beasts, what have you. We field those calls here and then dispatch whichever team is closest to the problem.
Again, why ask the question? You're a self-supplied, semi-autonomous unit. You need to keep in contact.
10-4, Echo 1, carry on. Ranger Command out.
Alright, So now we get to wander the wastes. One of the things I did in the original game was just wander around in behind the citadel and just kind of go from place to place in the back. I tried that stunt last night with this, and they slaughtered me quite efficiently. So I'm going to be a good boy and kind of follow the path that they laid out. Hopefully they'll take the shackles off me once we get past this, so I can wander a little more freely. But I mean, in terms of balancing, it's an improvement. So, again, definitely a plus. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, don't run out of water. It's a really bad idea. And don't go through the radiation unless you absolutely have to and you know what's on the other side of it. Because it'll kill you fast too. Yeah, there's lots of ways for you to be dead in this game.
Roger that, Echo 1. When you reach the area where Ace's body was found, give it a good going over. The folks that picked him up said it looked like he crawled there. Maybe you can find some tracks leading to where he was attacked. Copy?
Yep.
10-4, Echo 1, and check in immediately with any new info. Those repeater units are a top priority. Ranger Command out.
If you're not familiar with it, you do need to check in on the radio on a fairly regular basis, simply because that's how you get permission to level yourself up. Blood splatters. I'm guessing somebody died there. No? Ah. So, the path they want you to go through is here. I usually go around the back, but like I said, I'll be a good boy.
If you want to play in our backyard, you gotta pay. 15 scrap, or we'll break your faces. And my dog will eat your corpses.
So you have multiple options again. I don't know. Want to be a hard ass? Or a smart ass? Let's try smart ass. It's less psychotic.
Huh? Go ahead through while I try to figure that out.
Yeah.
Their front, our back. Carry the nothing, so we're even? Does that mean we're rangers too? I gotta go to my good think spot to figure this out. Guys, I'm heading west after my brain stops kicking my head. Come on, boy, let's go. I need to think.
Good. Loot.
Well, let me tell you Matthias's law, friends. Matthias's law is vengeance. And soon, Matthias's law will stretch all the way to Arizona and kill those so-called upholders of justice, the Desert Rangers.
You didn't know Matthias is a lunatic. Leftover bits. A metal leg. Ah, yes. It's time for the most important thing. Toast. We'll do a quick save, in case I butcher it. Because that's a real possibility. Spray paint. This is critical. I forget what it's for. Ooh, the statues. If you're all familiar with it. If not, it's exactly what it says. You get bonuses for finding these things. There's lots of locations hidden around and maps and things like that you can find. I actually quite like this game. I know my voice isn't full of, raging enthusiasm or anything, but that's actually just my voice. But I actually really like this game. Big fan of Fallout. The original Fallout. I liked the Bethesda ones as well. There's another thing I like. Strictly dependent on your skills and stats. Things are either visible or not visible. I like that. I know everyone nowadays kind of likes to have everything available for everybody to get everything, and you know what? That's not for me. The other thing I like about it is that as I play through this, and you watch it, if you want to watch it, I'll play it a certain way, I'll do certain things, and certain things will happen, and if you go and get it and play it yourself, and it generally plays out significantly differently. Although, I found if you make very similar characters, a lot of the things are similar, so... If you go with radically different, like if you, pick everything with laser weapons or whatever, which I wouldn't do, that's kind of suicidal, but... Oh, I know this place. Let's get our stuff first. Health packs. Okay. Something's really lucky here today. I mean, unfortunately I already have one of those, but... I wonder if luck actually plays a role in the stats like that in terms of your overall party luck. Okay, who's the perceptive one? You have an option in the options screen too where you can turn on, you automatically use the person with the most advanced in the skills, which, again, I'm all for that. Oops. Yay, it's not trapped. A gloves. I'll have to see my basher, whether or not those are good for him. I think it is. Which is, you know, me. Let's take a look here. There's no significant difference there, so this can go. Actually, I'm going to compare it to the second. Yeah, okay. Big advantage there is you get to swing it around more. We'll go with what we got for now, but we got it in case we want to make a change.